Hey, I'm Gage, and if you don't already know, I'm a self-taught Solana dev that got to work for a bunch of different NFT companies, including OpenSea. I think a lot of developers don't talk enough about how they actually got their first job in the industry, and probably even less so if they're self-taught. So if you've been going through a bunch of tutorials, learning the concepts, working on projects, and now you're deciding, how do I actually get hired? That's what I want to talk to you about in this video. For me personally, my journey started off sort of underground. I developed a relationship with a lot of people in Discords by just helping out other users with their problems when they were launching their own NFT projects and trying to do things like staking and liquidity pools. I had been working on some of my own projects on the side just to learn Solana, but making those connections underground is ultimately what landed me my first job. It was really just something under the table. They paid me in crypto, but I got my first ever experience and I got paid for actually developing on Solana. From there, those connections are what led me to actual contracts with more companies. You find that in the industry, there's a lot of connection between people, and even if you're working for someone else at the time, they probably know 4 other projects, right? OpenSea knows Metaplex, Metaplex knows Magic Eden, Magic Eden knows all these NFT companies, and all of them talk, and they're always looking for talent. So a good way to get started is honestly just to do some smaller work for some smaller projects and hopefully get noticed by some of the bigger companies. But if you have more experience and you want to go straight for those bigger companies, another route might be just contributing to the source code. A lot of the source code in crypto is open source, and you can search on GitHub for a good first issue and just start doing some work. And I know it's a little weird to be like, oh, go do some free work for these companies, but I know multiple people who ultimately got hired by just working on some GitHub issues for these companies. Past that, your next best bet is LinkedIn. I get reached out to all the time on LinkedIn. There's a ton of need for entry-level Rust developers in general, but more and more often, I would say Solana-focused developers as well, especially right now. So definitely post that you're a Rust Anchor dev specifically on LinkedIn, and you can get a lot of interviews through there for a lot of smaller startups, especially ones that came through the hackathons that Solana themselves host, which is also another good way for you to maybe work on your own project and ultimately get some funding. Definitely join all the hackathons that Solana does. They do them all the time, and you can really get noticed not only as a dev, but maybe for your own entire project. I hope this gives you some insight onto some things that you can try to actually land your first job, and I'll see you in the next one.